I just want to give you an example of what is capturing terrorism. Not only is this light that's appearing on the wall, this is outside of this window, this is appearing on the wall. This is absolutely impossible. And you're also looking at what is the movement of outside. The movement of the trees outside is appearing in this magnified light. This is capturing terrorism that you're subject to. The people of the state are engaged in criminal surveillance, and Amazon Prime came onto the grounds to participate directly in that terrorism. The entity is not doing so ignorantly in this level of a terrorizing environment. This is the system in operation, and this is the ongoing evidence of what is criminal surveillance. It's constructive presence in your private space. It's an ongoing method of what is maintaining the engineer light inside of your private space, and all of the other iterations of that. This is entirely demonic. And it's entirely impossible. Absolutely. The entity is maintaining magnified light right here in the center of the wall. The blinds are closed. Okay, so I just want to be clear. This is the light source that's outside of this window, okay, but you've got the light that's appearing down here, and the blinds are closed again. This is again showing what is the substance of an admission in court against the people of the state and against the state of California, engaging in what are the demonic and ritualistic methods of placing one under surveillance, and also federal stalking via communication devices and on the venue of the internet as well. These are the criminal elements of monitoring light activity and relevant positioning. This is group stalking in the private space where you're maintaining engineered light and you're maintaining presence in the apartments. Everybody that lives here is in a relevant position. The entity is pacing up and down Alvarado Street 24 hours a day. That's not traffic. Those are demons that are crossing paths while the entity maintains engineered light inside of your apartment, while the entity after 11 hours is keeping a light source. This is an every way admission. And you're also going to pay attention while I'm here. The light source was clearly over building 1800 while I was down there. This is, again, not only do you already know this is the case, it's not funny. I'm laughing because this is a surefire prosecution, and it's very highly just unintelligent what the demon possessed are engaging in. And it is in every way speaking to what is an admission. And all it requires is pointing out to you that which you are just not paying attention to. You just weren't paying attention. And you're going to see it very clearly. And it is the ongoing legal admission against the people of the state where this environment is present. It is facilitating a government's a system of criminal surveillance. And everyone living at the community where placing an American citizen under surveillance, engaging in the perpetual sex offense, engaging in what is means of the entity that is sounding. A government is stalking you, engaging in the demonic elements of monitoring, and doing so with these methods of terrorism. That's the trees out there, okay? The trees you're seeing blowing in this engineer light that's on this wall, those are the trees that you see out there. The engineer light is hitting it, all right, reaching into the depths of the apartment, hitting the mirror. That's impossible light activity, entirely demonic. And this is the level of evidence that's going against psychopaths who look to the left and the right, who are driving in shade and light is manifesting out of nowhere, where you're looking at the light while they're driving in on the parking lot, and you're seeing light just appearing on the shaded ground, where they're living at a property where the documentation is suggesting that, proving that the entity is the one suggesting that it's the natural environment and doing it like it's totally implausible. Literally, it's going to be crickets in federal court. There is no expert that will ever get on the stand and suggest that the sun is going to be not only present, but visible at one address for 11 hours in the day, contrary to what I'm documenting, okay? And it is evidence of what is not possible. The sun is never reaching the sky space of Florida. That is 3 hours ahead of us based on my documentation. So it is speaking to what is necessary, that this is not a natural environment. The environment does not operate the way that we have been told that it does. And it is also prefacing what is a criminal system, because the entity is engaging in a very specific pattern of conduct in this environment. And this engineer light is key to it. And that's why you see them engaging in what is an ongoing iteration of the same exact pattern of conduct. And you're seeing just different iterations of this light activity, whether it's stationary on the ground, whether it's appearing above your head, whether you have multiple shadows at nightfall, whether you have what is a magnification of light and then making it dynamic. This is what this is. This is another iteration of a demon driving by you and light spreading all across the asphalt and across the wall. This is how you're making engineer light. This is how you're making a dynamic light. You're making it dynamic. It's moving around. This is relevant for monitoring. While I'm talking, my voice is the audible activity. They are monitoring me and keeping me under surveillance while they're maintaining noise, and demons are driving up and down Alvarado, paying very close attention. Again, I'm the reason why I'm repeating it, because the federal courts, federal law that's going to be informed by this needs to be aware the entity, the public entity, the government, the people of the state that are in the shoes of the government, the demon possessed, are violent sex offenders, intimately acquainted with literally my physical movement of removing my panties, okay? Any and everything that I'm doing as I'm doing it. That's why you have that light activity there. Absolutely impossible, and it's going to be prosecuted. While I was able to show you the impossible, okay, the evidence of that which an ordinary target individual would not even be able to speak of, and you would unjustly judge them as being some sort of mentally incapacitated individual, which they're not. My ability to show you that is speaking to what's going to be prosecution for terrorism. All right, there is no iteration of the natural environment that the sun's going to be present, let alone over me in Fontana, that any of this is ever going to occur. The sun was literally rising through the same apartment at 7 o'clock in the morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is demonic. It's going to be prosecuted as terrorism. It's an admission against Amazon Prime. This is the environment that they are coming intentionally so. Amazon Prime is not ignorant. Let me be clear. Nobody is ignorant with regard to the specific environment. You were supposed to remain ignorant. You're not ignorant anymore. Okay, the entity is engaging in what is a malicious system of criminal monitoring and group stalking, and companies are in this country wanting to make $1 off of the American people, and they are keeping you under surveillance. We are not as free as we're told that we are. And perhaps, and I mean, I'm not saying anything about, social media. People use it for, business purposes. Not that I'm biased, whether you use it for personal purposes, make a living or whatever. But perhaps you should step away from social media and pay attention to what's going on around you. Pay attention, because I want to be clear. While you're not paying attention, the government is paying attention to you. All right, in ways that you would not be so comfortable with. Okay, it is currently 6:32 p.m. and this is the maintenance of engineer light that's on my blinds. Engineer light that's through closed blinds appearing on the wall. Dynamic light suddenly just disappearing. None of this is never naturally happening. None of it. And it has nothing to do with the light source that you also see outside of my window, which is the same apartment that I was showing you the light source in the morning at 7:11 in the morning. Remember, documentation that the sun is rising where I'm at 435 South Bonneview in Ontario, California. Remember that. Remember that the sun is never going to be present at one address for 11 plus hours in the day. Remember that. Remember the character of this light where it's also appearing on my ceiling, my shadow appearing above my head. It's also present at nightfall where the entity is creating the pattern of the blinds appearing above me and on all over the walls. None of this is natural light, and it has nothing to do with the maintenance of the light source. You're witnessing the demonic. Okay? What they refer to as climate change, it's not. Okay? This is the real-time operation of an environment, the supernatural having control over it, and it's demonic. That's the reality. While you're being told different narratives. Okay, and you need to pay attention to who's telling you, because it's the same entity that's monitoring you. It is currently 6:33 p.m. This is P.O.C.